In this video, we are going to learn how to subtract fractions which have the same denominator. If we want to subtract two fractions with the same denominator, all we need to do is subtract the numerators and then write the difference over the denominator. To understand this, let us consider an example. Let us consider 5 over 6 minus 1 over 6. Now, first of all, let us have a look at the denominators. Now, the denominators are the numbers on the bottom. So for the fraction 5 over 6, we can see that the number on the bottom is 6, and so the denominator is 6. And for the second fraction, the number on the bottom is 6, so the denominator is 6. So we can see that both of these fractions have the same denominator, which is 6. So what do? We need to, first of all, subtract the numerators. Now, what are the numerators? They are the numbers on top. So for the first fraction, we have 5 over 6. The number on top is 5, so the numerator is 5. And for the second fraction, 1 over 6, the number on top is 1, and so the numerator is 1. So what we need to do is subtract the numerators. So let's do that. So we subtract the numerators, 5 minus 1. And then what do? We need to write this difference over the denominator. And what is the denominator for both of these fractions? The denominator is 6. So what we're going to do next is we're going to write this difference over the denominator of 6. So what do we end up with? We have 5 minus 1, which is 4, and we divide this by 6. So this is our required answer. 5 over 6 minus 1 over 6 is equal to 4 over 6. Next, let us use models to explain why this process works. So first of all, let us draw a rectangle. And since the denominator for both of the fractions 5 over 6 and 1 over 6 is 6, let us divide this rectangle into 6 equal parts. Now, first of all, let us consider the fraction 5 over 6. Now, the numerator of 5 over 6 is 5. So that means if we want to model this fraction 5 over 6, what we need to do is shade 5 of the 6 equal parts that this rectangle has been divided into. So this will represent the fraction 5 over 6. Now consider the next fraction. We have 1 over 6, and the numerator of this fraction is 1. So in order to model 1 over 6, what we need to do is shade just one of the 6 equal parts that the rectangle has been divided into. Now we have 5 over 6 minus 1 over 6. That means that we are going to remove the portion which we shaded in orange. And then how many parts do we have left? We have one part over here, another part over here, a third part over here, and a fourth part over here. So what does this mean? This means that the total number of parts we have left will be 5 minus 1, that is 4. And so the numerator of the resultant fraction should be 4, and we can see that that is exactly what we obtained over here. And since the rectangle has been divided into 6 equal parts, the denominator of the resultant fraction should be 6, and that is exactly what we obtained over here. So we can see that the process works. So whenever we want to subtract two fractions with the same denominator, all we need to do is subtract the numerators and then write that difference over the denominator. Now, after we do this, we can simplify the fraction if necessary. So the fraction we have obtained is 4 over 6. And note that the greatest common factor of 4 and 6 is 2. So what we're going to do next is divide the numerator 4 by 2, and we also divide the denominator 6 by 2. So 4 divided by 2 is equal to 2, and 6 divided by 2 is equal to 3. So that means that our required simplified fraction is 2 over 3, and so 5 over 6 minus 1 over 6 is equal to 2 over 3. Next, let us have a look at a few practice problems. Let us consider the first problem. We have 6 over 7 minus 3 over 7. First of all, let us check the denominators. That is, let us check what the numbers on the bottom are. So for the first fraction, 6 over 7, we can see that the denominator is 7. And for the second fraction, 3 over 7, we can see that the denominator is 7. So this means that both of these fractions have the same denominator. And so to subtract these two fractions, we need to subtract the numerators and write that difference over the denominator of 7. So what are the numerators? We have 6 and we have 3. So let us subtract these numerators. We will have 6 minus 3. So 6 minus 3 is 3, and we divide this by 7. And so this is our required answer. That is 6 over 7 minus 3 over 7 is equal to 3 over 7. Now let us have a look at the next problem. In this problem, we have 9 over 10 minus 5 over 10. Now the denominator for the first fraction is 10, and the denominator for the second fraction is also 10. So both these fractions have the same denominator, and so what we're going to do is write the difference of the numerators over the denominator of 10. And what are the numerators? The numerator of the first fraction is 9, and the numerator of the second fraction is 5. So in the numerator of the resultant fraction, we will have 9 minus 5. 9 minus 5 is 4, and we divide this by 10. Now we can reduce this fraction. The greatest common factor of 4 and 10 will be 2. So we divide the numerator of 4 by 2, and we divide the denominator of 10 by 2 as well. 4 divided by 2 is equal to 2. 10 divided by 2 is equal to 5. And so this is our required answer. 9 over 10 minus 5 over 10 is equal to 2 over 5. Now let us have a look at the next problem. We have 22 over 12 minus 10 over 12. Now we can see that the denominators of both of these fractions is equal to 12. So they have the same denominator, and to subtract them, we just need to subtract the numerators and write that difference over the denominator of 12. Now what are the numerators? The numerators are 22 and 10. So what do? We write 22 minus 10 in the numerator of the resultant fraction. 22 minus 10 is 12, and we divide this by 12. Now 12 over 12 is equal to 1, and so this is our required answer. That is, 22 over 12 minus 10 over 12 is equal to 1. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. See you next time.